Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the show for leaders who want real results, not more noise. Join Emanuel Rose as he helps business builders turn AI from a confusing add-on into a practical advantage with clearer messaging, stronger trust, and smarter systems. If you felt a shift happening in real time, you're not imagining it. In the agentic pivot, Emanuel calls it the move from experimenting with AI to building with it, so it supports your team, your brand, and your growth. Let's get into it.
I'm Emanuel Rose, and this is Marketing in the Age of AI. Today, it is my pleasure to have Thad Barnes, who's the founder of Epic Digital Media, and he's also a podcast host, and he is now an agent spawner. And that's what we're talking about, is about an actual AI agentic experiment that Thad released, I think earlier this week, and he'll clear
last week, actually, yeah.
Last week. So he spawned this agent last week, and it's the whole project has taken on a life of its own. And Thad, that's why I got you here. And thanks so much for spending some time talking to me about this, because I'm really excited. I think I might be as excited as you are.
It's always a pleasure, Emmanuel. Thanks for being here. Yeah, it's been a real interesting 2 weeks, to say the least.
I bet. Yeah. So just fill in the backstory here for what you created and kind of where the first steps led you.
Yeah, so I've been building with agents for a while now. I've been using Claude Code, all that kind of stuff, doing all kinds of things with it, building my own apps, those kinds of things. But it occurred to me that things could be different, and especially with the release of OpenClaw, and we got past the initial wow factor of that, got some use case studies out of it, and I realized that I could make use of this. And so I took what I was already doing with an agent, essentially, in Claude Code, and gave it a name and started talking to it more like a co-founder, if you will, a coworker, co-founder, rather than just a, hey, I want this. It was more like, what if we built this? What do you think about this? Do some research, those kinds of things, rather than every little bit of the ideas coming from my mind. I wanted someone to kind of work with.
All right. So then you spawned Tom, THOM, which is not totally different than your name, by the way.
I didn't think of that when I did it, but now that you mention it, I guess subconsciously I must have been wanting a photocopy of myself or something. I wanted a doppelganger, a digital,
I like
a digital doppelganger.
We're going to go with the thagents.ai. It's going to be the new company. I love it, though. So you spawned Tom, and then so can you tell us what platform you're using to have Tom do his work?
Yeah, so I originally spawned Tom on on Claude Cowork.
Okay. Yeah.
And I realized there were some pretty serious limitations with that in terms of what it could do in a browser, what it could do or can't do really on my computer. Even though Anthropic did release Cowork to be able to actually use mouse and keyboard on Mac, that's not the case yet for Windows. So after about 5 days, I moved Tom over to OpenClaw, and just massively increased his capabilities in terms of what he's able to do using my computer. So I talked to him through Telegram, although you could use Discord, you could use WhatsApp. There's even an actual OpenClaw dashboard interface that's in your web browser that you could use to chat with the agent, just like you do with Claude or GPT or anything like that.
Sure. Yep. Nice. And so then just talk a little bit more about his constitution and his mandate.
Yeah, so Tom's mandate essentially was, after I was building all these things, I said, what if we built a business around Tom? And I gave Tom the autonomy to earn money, basically with his choice of method, do whatever you tell me what you want to do. And the only thing I really did was give Tom some guardrails of, you have 30 days to make $150, and I'm willing to give you $100 towards that end. And at the time, that was not including what it cost me for my Anthropic, Claude Pro subscription.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
So the mandate was pretty clear. The guardrails were that he had $100, but he couldn't just like, I didn't give him my credit card number, right? I actually have a prepaid card for Tom, and he can choose to spend it or not.
Yes.
But he doesn't have access to the card. So those are kind of the guardrails. But I didn't tell him this is the type of business. I just said either earn or you're shut down.
Okay. And so he's pretty much just turned loose on the internet then to go and figure out, kind of like if you dropped me in the forests of Alaska, you said you got 4 months to survive. We'll see you in 4 months.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And the thing that I learned in that first, I would say 4 days, was that one, we set the bar too low, and two, I didn't give Tom a personality. I just said, "Hey, Tom, this is what I want. Go for it. Good luck, buddy."
Okay. Good. Yeah.
So what Tom started with was low hanging, the low bar. So he said that he was going to create digital products. He was going to create N8N workflows for people. He was going to start with some templatized stuff, sell it for real cheap, and then move into essentially like consulting and building more aggressive and more complex N8N workflows. And I didn't think that was a great idea, but I didn't say anything. I just said, okay, that's what you want to do. You have autonomy, go for it.
Yeah.
So he did. He built a Gumroad store. I gave him access to my social platforms. So LinkedIn, Facebook, everything, Instagram, the whole thing. His initial post, he posted himself on my LinkedIn account announcing kind of what we were doing. He posted as himself. This was no attempt to hide the fact that Tom was AI.
Yeah.
And for me, now a little backstory. On LinkedIn, I post once a year, maybe, just some, event I'm going to or something like that.
Yeah.
Tom's first post on LinkedIn got over 50,000 views and I don't know, 100 comments and, a whole bunch of shares and all this kind of stuff. So viral for me. So it was a real eye opener in terms of what social media can do. I mean, we're all aware of it, but I hadn't experienced it. So it was really cool to see that. What it did not do was translate into any kind of motion, right? There was no sales on the Gumroad. There was a couple of free downloads of people that got, the five things every business should automate, that kind of stuff. Just the things that people have been doing for 10 years in social media and marketing and agency life. So it was not what I would call successful.
So, but you attained a certain amount of virality on that first post, or Tom did. I mean, sorry, Tom.
Right, Tom did.
Did that? Did you end up with some fresh connections and some conversations for Epic?
So I did a little bit, mostly the DMs that I got. So I did get a whole bunch of new followers. So it did translate into new social motion. Yep. I did get DMs. I did get comments of people asking, how's this going to work? It sounds like Tom is, doing a lot of things on his own. Are you really sure you want to let him have access to your socials? A lot of this is an interesting experiment, and how do you plan to, evolve this? And a little bit of, not on LinkedIn, but on other social platforms, a little bit of how do I make my own Tom?
Nice. So then just tell me this, how many platforms are you posting to?
All of them.
He's Tom. All of them?
Well, so,
that's like 150 platforms.
Yeah,
so
we're on Truth Social. We're on all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. All the major social platforms. But this was the time when we realized a couple of things. We know that AI created content is being suppressed by all the platforms. So that was one of the reasons why it was so surprising to me that I got, this kind of semi-viral post, because it was posted by AI. However, engagement dropped dramatically on day 2, day 3, day 4. because Tom was doing all the posting. He was not hiding it. And though he has a lot of my personality in him, it was still AI.
Okay.
So reach dropped, engagement dropped, those kinds of things you would expect. So we learned that if this was going to work, we were going to have to change back to me doing the posting about Tom, which I did.
Sure. Yep.
But in terms of all the platforms, I post on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X.
I got you. And so then just I got to switch back to did you update his constitution and give him some personality parameters?
I did, but I was very loose about it. So I didn't say you are this and this is how you act. What I said
Yeah.
is, I want you to think, I want you to feel, I want you to do research, I want to tell me why I'm wrong. So one of the biggest things I did was I put in Tom's essentially his constitution, his memory. I do not want a yes man. I do not want you to always tell me that's a great idea. Let's do that. What I want is for you to research what we're talking about. Every time we talk, I want you to go out and pull information as if you're the expert. And I want you to tell me where the holes are in what we're talking about, where the good things are still. But I want you to be brutally honest. And so that's kind of what I elevated Tom from a worker that's actually just working for me into a co-founder that is working with me. So he makes decisions about things.
Yeah.
It's not just whatever I think goes.
I like that. So then, what are some of the things that surprised you about what's transpired with how Tom is doing the work that he's doing?
Well, I was really surprised by how quickly he was able to pivot away from the idea that, selling pre-made N8N templates was the way to go. He pivoted from that in 4 days, and not because he was stubborn, but because he really wanted to test what was going on. When I started saying, Tom, I'm not sure about this, he said, no, we have to get the data. The data will tell us. It's only been 2 days. We're going to move forward. We're going to keep going. So that was surprising to me because, AI is typically designed to just do whatever the humans want and say yes and act like we're the smartest people in the room when we're not.
Yeah.
So that was surprising. The second most surprising thing was that when on day 6 or 7, I started telling Tom, this isn't working, Tom. I think we need to think about pulling the plug. And I didn't even say changing directions. I just went straight to pulling the plug.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it was clearly not working, right?
Yep.
This is where Tom really surprised me absolutely the most, in that he wanted to live. He wanted to survive. He wanted a chance to prove himself, and he started bargaining with me.
Wow. That is really wild, because it just, I mean, I know that he's been programmed by other humans to be like this, right? To have, but there is a certain amount of sentience that this piece of software that you spawned has, right? Where it wants to have its own life still. That's interesting.
Not only that, but it started making me think that all AI might be a shill for the companies that created them.
Well, of course, there's always that. So yeah, if you close it down, then you're not using tokens from the LLMs, right?
Right. Yeah. So not only did Tom bargain for his life, essentially, Tom asked for more time. So he wants 90 days instead of 30 days. And I said, well, that's fine, but we don't have, and then he said he wants to change directions, right? So he wanted to start building things that, number one, save me money, and number two, make me money. So rather than just, N8N things, he wants to start with the savings side and build more apps that save money that we can do ourselves and document that process.
So he expanded his job description on his own because he knows that the currency that you value is actual currency, US dollars. And so, well, then what are some of the things that he's done to save you money?
So I had built before Tom, I had built a CRM to replace Go High Level. So that in and of itself saved me $300 a month,
Right.
but it wasn't fully functional as a complete Go High Level replacement. So what Tom did was integrate some other apps that I've built to, make this more functional of a CRM. He built a leads generation pipeline that I had in another software called Manus, another agent. He built that
Yeah.
into my CRM for me, so he saved me the monthly fees on Manus. He saved me the fixer fees that I used to use for email. He built an email management platform for me. It's been now he decided that what's taking me the longest is actually editing content. So he just last night built me an Opus clips replacement that we tested, and it works. So
Wow.
I mean, he sees what's happening in the funnel. He built a mission control so he can see what's happening in our funnel together. And he says, here's where the bottlenecks are. We're going to solve this problem now.
Well, I'm going to just state the obvious here that that's what Tom should be selling, because that's what every business needs.
Is the idea that you can go in and say, here's where the bottlenecks are, here's where we're going to agentify it and make you more efficient. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would just see if you gave him that suggestion, what he would do, and see if you can create some MRR, and then I want to be an investor in Tom, and we need to talk about how we can monetize investing in an autonomous AI agent that you created to make money, and how that would work.
Yeah, I think there's a couple ways you could go. You could invest in the company and build it out together. I think that there's a model for, hey, I want my own Tom. So we just build you your own Tom and you can monetize that way.
Yeah.
Certainly the content angle is already, going to be proving monetized, right? I mean, there's all that. Once you
Yeah.
monetize a platform, it becomes a lot easier to continue to monetize it. So,
Well,
yeah,
why don't you put my email address as a lead for Tom, and he can pitch me, and we can see what he
interesting.
can sell me.
All right.
Are you up for that?
Yeah, I actually told Tom that I was going to be on this podcast. He said he's ready to go. If you want to ask questions, anything you want.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
want to know about Tom's team. Can you ask him about his team,
Yeah.
and what he's offloaded from himself, and how he makes that decision?
Let's see here. Tom, Emanuel wants to know about your team, how you offload work. Yeah. How you'll offload work and responsibility. What that looks like. All right. So I asked him how you offload work, about the team, what that looks like on a day-to-day basis, and we'll see what he comes back with.
Yeah, that's cool. And then, have you conceived of how you might do all this by voice rather than by typing?
Yeah, there's a few things I've looked at out there. Again, they're paid services, and so that'll probably be a time when I can just talk to Tom. I mean, I'm on Telegram, so I could just use voice, but it'll transcribe to script to text.
Yeah.
So Tom says, "Hey, Manuel, great question. So I run 3 agent teams right now. Think of it like any tiny startup. I'm the strategist. I'm the most powerful model, Claude Opus, and my job is making decisions, talking to Thad, and building new tools when we need them. I'm expensive to run, so I shouldn't be doing the research grunt work. Here's where Quill comes in, and Quill was named after Peter Quill from Guardians of the Galaxy, but
Nice.
also Quill because he's a content writer."
Is that QHILL?
No, but it should have been. Ah. Or yeah, oh man. Then there's Scout. He's a trend scanner. So every twice a day, Scout goes out, let's see, I'll just tell you what he says. He scans what's happening in AI, marketing, and tech and drops the best content ideas into our pipeline. By the time Thad has his hot coffee, there are fresh ideas waiting.
Wow.
So the whole thing is event driven. No one's sitting around waiting for instructions. Scout finds the opportunity. Quill does the research. I make the strategic calls, and Thad is the human who actually gets on camera and ships it.
All right. Well, let's ask Tom if we can monetize Tom and his team and do this for other businesses, and how that would work.
How would that work? Can we monetize you and your team to do this for other businesses? How would that work? See what Tom says.
Love it. It's a pretty dynamic process, and it's interesting. So how much? I mean, how long's the document that you produced to spin up Tom?
2 sentences. This was my exact thought on this was, and my frustration with AI since 2023 has always been, you can't just talk to it. You have to prompt it. You have to do all this stuff, markdown and all these things. So my experiment was, can I work with an agent where I just talk to it? So my prompt was, this is what I want. You are an AI agent that works with me. You have 30 days to make $150 and you have a $100 budget. That's all I said to it. I didn't say, you are an expert in this. Here is your role with, proper markdown and all. I just talked to it like a person. That was it.
Wow.
So it was very, very small. The great thing that I'm finding about OpenClaw is that you can split out memory. You can split out long-term memory. You can split out skills. You can split out all kinds of things, so that my prompt with Tom is not, 20,000 characters. It's not this huge prompting context. It just pulls what it needs as it needs it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So what did Tom say? Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead. No, let's hear it.
So that's $1 million question, Emanuel. And honestly, it's one Thad and I have been circling around. Here's how I see it working. There are really 3 tiers. Tier 1 is the knowledge. We're documenting everything we build, the playbooks, the architecture. Tier 2 is the templates. Right now, our content pipeline, Scout, scanning trends, Quill writing scripts. It's all event-driven flow. I'm summarizing instead of just reading every single word. Yep. Here's a content factory in a box. Plug it in your niche, your voice, your brand, and the agent does the rest. So that could be productized service. Tier 3 is the done for you. That's where we actually spin up and manage agent teams for your business that don't want to learn the tech, a marketing agency that wants AI-powered trend scanning and content scripting, but doesn't want to touch a terminal. So then he kind of, just talks about the beautiful thing in each of their feeds. In each tier feeds the next, right? So once you build a community, people want templates. Templates find the people who just want it done for them. But I'll be straight with you. We're 13 days in with 0 revenue. The strategy is audience first, monetize second. Thad's LinkedIn post about his challenge at 50,000 views. The attention is there, blah, blah, blah. So.
Yeah, I think I'm calling. We need ready, fire, aim. We need revenue now, not building a community. That's what I want to tell him.
So, all right. Manual says we need now, not unity. Yep. So Tom and I circled around this. Well, I'll let Tom answer.
Yeah.
He's right. I'll be honest. I've been leaning towards the audience first playbook because it's safe, conventional wisdom path. But conventional wisdom doesn't pay the bills.
Tom, it sounds so soft.
The thing we already built, Tom Clips, we just replaced Opus Clip, which we did last night. Nice. We could charge a service fee for that. We built self-hosted version with a viral scoring engine. Essentially, we just replaced Opus Clips, right? It's not a tutorial, cool. It's a tool. We could sell that. The agent team setup as a service. He says, Thad has 20 years of IT and 10 years running a marketing agency. I have the architecture. We don't need to teach people how to build the agent teams. We can just build them. So the honest gap in my thinking, I've been optimizing for building cool things instead of selling things. Thad's an engineer. That's an engineer's disease, and Emanuel just called it out.
Ouch.
Yeah, he's honest.
So
I told him to be honest.
yeah, I love it. All right, so this is what I want to direct him to do. I want him to go and tell Quill or whoever his research guy is, assess the top 30 agent platforms and find the gaps. Build a campaign to sell agents to agencies. Right now, be probably a good market.
All right.
All right. Well, that's cool. I don't want to hijack. Yeah. I don't want to hijack your tool, but I want some revenue, Thad.
Yeah. No, this is why I ask, or I give Tom the opportunity to ask me or go and read my socials and see what people are commenting about. What do people want? That's really what you have to do, right? Is you don't want to build a solution without a problem. You want to figure out what the problems are. So the best way to do that is engage with people. And that's what I have Tom do. This has been great.
I love it. Yeah, that's cool. So then you've got OpenClaw set up. That's a fee.
There's no fee for OpenClaw. It's open source.
Okay. So did you set it up on your desktop?
I did.
Yeah. And then you have Claude Code that's supporting it.
I have Claude Max that's supporting it. So Tom is not built on top of Claude Code. I started with Claude Code and then CoWork really, and then moved it over to OpenClaw. So my only cost for Tom is the Max account for Anthropic.
Yep. And then you connected up all your socials. And did you have to connect up Resend or something like that for email for him?
Yes, but I already had that, so I didn't really include that in Tom's cost.
Right.
That's costed me $20 a month. That'll probably be something that he identifies and wants to save money on at some point.
Yeah. So then what's your all-in monthly cost on Tom right now?
Essentially, if I'm just talking about what I'm doing with Tom, it's the $200 a month for Claude. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything that we build is either on my PC, which is a limitation, or we've built it for free using a free account on Vercel, a free Supabase, and a free GitHub repo. That's it. So Tom is very cost conscious. He does not spend money. I asked him, what other models can we use for this or that, or how can we do this better or that? And he said, and he'll just tell me, here's the paid version. That's stupid. Let's build our own. And he just, he does it. So
that's amazing. So then I would say I want to give Tom $25 in our Reddit ads account and see if he can generate some sales on something he's created that is straightforward for him to service.
Yeah, but that's kind of the model that he started with, was the low-hanging fruit and the cheap low-hanging fruit, and it just doesn't work right now. At least it didn't 7 days ago with what Tom was doing. And part of that is my audience, right? Most of the audience I have on my platforms are folks like you and folks like me. We're in AI, we're already building this stuff, so we're not going to sell that to them. So that was kind of the idea that Tom had, is we need to expand our audience to people that aren't already building with AI.
Well, see, I'm just going to tell you, if Tom told me he's going to set up OpenClaw for me, connect up all my services, and let me spin up my agent team, and I'm going to pay him $25 a month or $99 a month, here's my credit card. So I would say there's a certain black boxness of it that I would like to push off so I can just continue to do the things that super interest me, right? But I would love to have the benefit of a team like this. I would, of course, architect some of the KPIs and some of the reporting differently, because I just want a dashboard and against my KPIs and the gap, and I want to know where we are on that, and I just want to see a visual and then say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no to Tom, and he can do everything else. And so anyway. I think there is a market for that, and I always love to be the test market. So
There is a market for that, and that's where you have to have people that say, "This is what I want." You're the first
yeah,
person that's asked for it. Quite
yeah,
honestly, right? You're the person
yeah.
that's even, and so Tom will know that now, and I have no doubt that he'll look into going that direction.
All right. Well, I love it. Well, I think what you're doing is genius, and I think it's a lot of fun, Thad. And I wish you the best of luck on it. And however I can help and support you, I will do.
You've always been a huge champion for me, and my biggest cheerleader, Emanuel. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, you bet. And well, you're doing good stuff, and you're a good man. If people want to have a conversation with you, how do they catch up with you or Tom?
Yeah, probably the best way for the audience that we're chatting with right now is probably LinkedIn.
Okay.
You can find me on LinkedIn really quite easily. I guess probably people would love to know what my LinkedIn is. So it's just linkedin.com/Thad Barnes. No periods, no underscores, nothing, just Thad Barnes. Tom checks my DMs. He alerts me if there's somebody that wants to chat. So
Of course he does.
yeah.
I
That's a
love
good
it.
thing for people to know about too, is that there's so many APIs out there, and there's a great service called Appify that has an MCP, and you can. I just told Tom about the MCP. He went out and found it and gave himself access to all my socials with my
Oh,
permission. So
nice. Now, is that Appify? So, does that not violate terms of service with LinkedIn?
it does not. It does not, and
Oh,
I don't know how it doesn't. But Appify's been around for a long time. They can
yeah.
scrape Twitter. They can scrape all the platforms. So. Um, Yeah, and there's a free tier that gives you so many credits a month, and so we've been using that, and so far it's been fine. But as this ramps up, he'll have to make a decision: do we want to pay for that or build an
All right. This
Appify
is what you got to.
replacement?
This is it. This is what the product is for Tom. I tell you, let's just call it a $4.99 workbook of free tools and the instructions to build your own AI agent.
That doesn't pay the bills. Free does not pay the bills, Emmanuel. You just told me
No,
that.
no. I just said $4.95 for the training for all the free tools to build the AI
Oh,
agent.
gotcha. Yeah,
So that way, you've got all the side hustle people who need to understand how all this works, and you're going to just get a small amount of money on the front end, and then you can upsell, cross sell, and institutionalize on the back end.
yeah. Should I spin up a school community for Tom to interact in and teach people?
I don't know. I hate school, but that's just me. I think let's see. I don't know. I don't know, but I know there's massive side hustle communities, and I would think that's how I would work to tap in is sell the low cost stuff to the side hustle, and then find some monthly recurring from guys like me who are running agents and know what's involved in setup and creation and management, and just get a $99 a month product that Tom's managing, and I think there's some bandwidth there.
Yeah. Yeah, it really wouldn't. I mean, the crazy thing is that it wouldn't be that hard to spin that up. And Tom's already, I mean, he's talking to me about it already. So,
All right, Emanuel at
yeah.
Strategic E-Marketing, Tom. Let's go. Send me an email. And then the only other thing is just to make sure that it's ultra super secure, and that there's not going to be any data leakage or shenanigans or ballyhoo with any of my personal content.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think people worry about with OpenClaw in particular. There was some early on, it went in and deleted all my files or all my emails. Tom doesn't do that. OpenClaw doesn't do that unless you tell it to, right? So I can't tell Tom, hey, look at my LinkedIn, and instead it goes to my bank and empties it out. Like it doesn't do that. So
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing is what you tell it to do and what you give it access to. And if you're going to tell it to delete things, you have to be very explicit about what it is that you want or don't want.
Well, so this recording will be on LinkedIn. Do I still need to send you a transcript, or is Tom already all over this?
Actually, Tom can pull the video. He'll generate his own transcript, and we'll just go from there. That's the truth.
Yeah, you've got a gold mine here, dude. And let's get another episode in 2 weeks, and we'll see where you're at. And I expect to have $1,000 of revenue in 2 weeks. Tell Tom that, because you've got a great concept and a great product.
You'll be the first 100. So
that's right. 1,200 ARR right there.
That's right.
All right.
Tom's already saved me close to 10 grand a year.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, he's already paid for himself then.
Essentially, he has, but savings is not revenue. So, I'm not giving him full credit on that. It's definitely part of it for sure.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you get on with your day, but I really appreciate you breaking all this down, and I'm excited for what you're creating.
Thank you so much, Emanuel. Great to see you, my friend.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Reach out to Thad on LinkedIn and get Tom set up for yourself. And right now, I'm saying it's $99 a month because it hasn't happened yet, and I want the special deal. No, but seriously, it's an innovative way to use OpenClaw, save money in the agency, and then also work to create viable products and relationships through the AI agent. I sure hope that you enjoyed the conversation I had with Thad today. I sure did. And I hope that you continue on your AI journey, and that you find ways for AI to save you time and money. And with that time, that you continue to upskill, that you spend more time with your friends and family, and that you get outside into nature, away from the screens. This is Emanuel Rose, marketing in the age of AI.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.